What would you say was one of, if not the reason that you knew that your wife was the one when you guys met?
So one of the things I teach when you meet your ideal partner, there's a beautiful mix of chemistry, compatibility, X factor, and they can do the job. So as soon as we met, incredible chemistry. Just you can just feel it. You just want to rip each other's clothes off. Really good compatibility too. So you can just talk every day, just all the time. Just you're on the same page. X factor's a little bit tricky to describe, Lindsay. So it's kind of like fairy dust in the air or magic. It's like something in your soul saying, "Hey, you got to be with this person." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. I feel like in looking for a partner, for me, I felt like it was hard to find this like perfect balance of confident, but also not like full of themselves.
Yeah.
And I felt like I found that in my husband, but I mean, it definitely was a journey for sure.
It's a
For
big
sure,
journey.
journey. It's a big journey. And the X factor is a very real thing. I've never heard of it described as the X factor, but it's true. There is something, I wouldn't say it's like they necessarily have an X factor to the world, but to each other, you have that.
100%. If anyone's listening who's single right now, you're going to meet people who tick every box. There's good chemistry, good compatibility, but something's missing, but you don't really know what it is. Then other people, they don't tick every box. They tick most boxes, but the X factor, something telling you that you must be with that person.
What do you say to, because there's a lot of dating advice out there that's bad. There's a lot of dating coaches out there saying things like you shouldn't care if there's a spark, the connection doesn't matter. It's more about they be a good partner and a good parent and a good this, but like don't expect to have chemistry right away. Like it can be, it can evolve over time, whatever. And I hear that and I'm like, no way. But I want to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Some people I've even heard describing that spark as a negative thing, like, well, you're probably just really anxious, and it's probably a red flag. You're like,
Yeah.
maybe you're overthinking it, but that spark is really important. You should definitely want to rip each other's clothes off. That chemistry needs to be really strong. If you want a really long-term, very healthy, romantic type relationship, let's start off really high, really good chemistry, really good really strong attraction at the start, because when you start throwing other things in the mix, work and kids and all this other stuff, you got lots of things which can deteriorate that. So if you're only starting down here, you got nowhere to go as well. So starting with that really strong chemistry, very important.
Yeah, so such a good point about like starting off with that because it's only going to get harder. Like that foundation that you start with has to be so strong because you're going to throw so many things in, like marriage, if you want kids, like you're going to be going through like, your family member being sick, moving, this, that. And if you're still like building to a place where you have a strong foundation and those things were thrown at you, like you're just going to crumble.
Yeah, building the foundation of a 10 out of 10 is really important.